This video is sponsored by Skillshare, but more about that coming up soon. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, it is so great to have you. I'm Antoinette, a New Zealander living in Germany. So I thought it was about time for another weird things that they do in Germany video. I have made quite a few of these videos and I've had a lot of requests lately to make another one. So I thought, why not? Honestly, I get a lot of mixed reactions when I make these videos. Some people really enjoy them and others get quite defensive as soon as they see the title with the word weird in it and Germany. Before you get angry at me, please take a look at my channel. I have made so many videos about things I absolutely love about Germany, raising my kids here, and I talk about a lot of reasons why Germany is amazing. But I like to mix things up a bit. I don't like to talk just about the positive parts of Germany. There are also challenges and things that when I first came to Germany I did find a little bit weird or unusual, and some things I actually still find a little bit weird. So I'm going to be talking about those in this video today. So before I jump into it, I would like to take a moment to talk about today's sponsor, Skillshare. For those of you who are not familiar with Skillshare, it is an online learning community where millions come together to take their next step in their creative journey. Skillshare offers thousands of inspiring classes in a wide variety of creative subjects, including creative writing, graphic design, freelancing, language learning, marketing, video editing, photography, cooking, and so much more. All of these classes are taught by highly skilled, successful individuals in their field who are willing to share their knowledge and experience with you. My most recent Skillshare class is all about video editing with Final Cut Pro X. The classes I normally take are under an hour, but this one is a little bit longer and more in depth. So I have taken 1 hour of this class so far and it is amazing. I am learning so much about the ins and outs of Final Cut Pro. I'm learning lots of really great video editing techniques that I can hopefully use in future videos. So if you are interested in exploring your creativity, the first 1,000 of my subscribers to click on the link in my description will receive a 1-month free trial to Skillshare. Okay guys, so in no particular order, something that I find a little bit weird about Germany and certain German people is their attitude towards gardening. Not only their own gardens, but other people's gardens. So let me explain. I know I've talked about the fact that many Germans have immaculate gardens, and I'm not saying every German has a perfect immaculate garden, but many of them do, especially in the suburban areas in Germany, in the villages, in the small towns. This is not what I find weird. I think it is wonderful that many Germans take so much pride in their garden and they put in so much work to have it looking nice. But what I do find weird is that some Germans get super annoyed if people on their street or in their neighborhood do not have the same standard of garden as they do. And they even go as far as complaining and writing a letter to the person whose garden might be a little bit out of sorts and a little bit wild to say that your garden is not up to scratch. I have heard this from quite a few different expats living in Germany. One in particular told me that she received a handwritten complaint in her mailbox from an anonymous person living on her street saying that she needed to sort out her garden. Apparently the state of her garden was unacceptable and she needed to tidy it up as soon as possible because it was letting down the rest of the street. I couldn't believe it when I heard this. Well, I can understand wanting your street to look nice and at a certain standard, but I can't believe that somebody would complain about another person's garden. I don't know. I thought this may have just been a one-off, but I have heard quite a few stories like this. It's actually made me feel a little bit paranoid because I know the house that we were renting before we built our house, the garden did not always look amazing. I didn't have a lot of time. I was running around after small children and I didn't have a lot of time to keep my garden looking perfect. So I hate to think what the neighbours were thinking of our garden. Thankfully we didn't receive a complaint, but that could have happened. So I would love to know, have any of you received a complaint about your garden, or do you just instinctively know that your garden needs to be tidy and in order? Let me know in the comment section. Okay, something else that I find a little bit weird, or should I say rude, is the customer service here in Germany, but not just the customer service in general, a certain thing that many shop assistants do here. I've actually talked about the fact that I quite like how the shop assistants here in Germany do not annoy you and follow you around and try and pressure you into buying things. I like to be left alone when I shop, and I like to make my own decisions. In New Zealand, I feel like the shop assistants can border on being a little bit pushy with trying to sell you products and that kind of thing. But in Germany, they do normally leave you alone. But there is something that the shop assistants do, not all of them, but some of them do here in Germany, that does bother me. And this happened to me just the other day, and it made me think I need to include this in a video because it has happened to me quite a few times. So I went up to the cashier to pay for my items. The shop assistant was on the phone, and I was waiting and waiting and waiting, and she was not even acknowledging that I was there, even though she was standing right in front of me. And I waited a little bit longer, and then she just started scanning my items without even looking at me, still on the phone in a deep conversation. Then I gave her the money. Most things are paid in cash here in Germany, and I got my receipt and I left, and she basically did not even look at me the whole time. She was on the phone talking while she was doing all of this. It's not the first time this has happened to me in Germany, where the shop assistant is putting through my order and she's not even looking at me and on the phone to somebody else. I find it rude. I really find that rude, and I do not expect a 5-star treatment. And when I go into shops here in Germany, I am quite happy with just paying for my items and leaving, but I do expect maybe them to acknowledge my existence. So I don't know, I found that a little bit weird, and I think that some German shop assistants need to up their game a little bit as far as customer service, and maybe just sort of acknowledging people when they are serving them. Okay guys, moving on. Something I find a little bit weird about some Germans, not all of them, but quite a few Germans love to complain about the weather. And it doesn't matter whether it is a beautiful sunny day, whether it is raining, whether it's snowing, cloudy, they always have something to complain about. If it's a beautiful summer's day, they will be complaining that it is too hot. If it is a freezing cold day, they'll be complaining that it's too cold. It just feels like some Germans, not all of them, are never satisfied with the weather. It's mostly the older generation in Germany. I don't hear younger Germans complaining about this so much, but it's usually sort of middle-aged to elderly Germans who just don't like the weather no matter what it is. I have to say the summers lately in Germany have been very, very hot. Not last summer, but a few summers before that it was insanely hot, almost up to 40 degrees Celsius, and I can understand people complaining about that kind of temperature, but even when it reaches around 30 degrees, I hear a lot of Germans complaining that that is just way too hot and they can't handle it. I do hear people complaining that it doesn't snow enough here in Germany during the winter time, and that when they were younger it used to snow so much and it was so beautiful, and it's not like that anymore. But then when it does snow, you hear people complaining that the roads are blocked and that they're sick of the snow. I don't know, I just feel like it's kind of a German thing to always complain about the weather. In New Zealand we kind of have a different attitude with this. We don't like to complain. It's considered sort of like a downer if you complain too much, and we kind of look on the bright side. And so maybe it's a grey cold day, but instead of saying that we will say, oh, isn't it nice that it's not too hot, or something like that. We always kind of look on the bright side, and Germans just kind of say it as it is, which I initially thought was a little bit weird at first, hearing people complaining constantly. I'm used to it now, and I don't think people should pretend to feel something that they don't. In Germany, people say what they think, and It's just how it is. So anyway guys, that is all I've got for this video today. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope it didn't seem like I was complaining too much, because honestly I love living in this wonderful country. I'm so grateful to be living in Germany, even if there are a few little things that I might find a bit weird, or I did find weird when I first came to Germany. Doesn't mean I don't love it. Also, I just wanted to remind you that if you are interested in exploring your creativity, the first 1,000 of my subscribers to click on the link in my description will receive a 1-month free trial to Skillshare. Once again, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. I would love you to consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. I know that so many of you who watch my videos are not actually subscribed, so if you would subscribe, that would mean the world to me. Feel free to connect with me on Instagram, and I will see you again really soon. Bye!